Hello, and welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all the crazy things that I seem to step on. It is Tuesday, the 27th of July. It's good to be coming back to you. Sorry I missed a few days. Out and about trying to get some things done, but I'm so thrilled to be back and talking to you about today's topic, and that is what conversational voice acting really means. We hear this a lot. This has become the basis of style and overall thought process in the voiceover industry, if you will, about being able to be conversational with your voice acting. But I have a take that I think, I want to share with you about what I think it really means and where we, especially new or upcoming voice actors, really struggle understanding it. Now, real quickly, before we go on, this week we're highlighting the conversational voiceover tone course, which there'll be a link below. It's a fantastic course. We've had lots of people take it, be successful with it. You'll love it. Great price. The link is below, or you can always go to avosjourney.com to check that out. Okay, so let's dive in to conversational voice acting and what it really means. So I always kind of laugh, right, when you hear people say, well, we want you to be the guy next door, the gal next door, or we want you to speak as if you're speaking to your neighbor, you're having a conversation with someone. Well, I can tell you for certain, I have never I've never gone over to my neighbor and tried to sell them something or present them with something that I do in my voiceovers. I don't talk to my family that way. I don't talk to you all that way. Okay. And there is a distinction, and this is where I think the confusion comes. And I hope this helps. There's a distinction between how the cadence per se that you're using and the relaxed nature of your speech. Okay. So for example, when you talk to a family member or a friend or a neighbor, you're having a conversation. That conversation is usually very dynamic, okay? A conversation can be a multitude of different things, right? It can be choppy, it can be fast, it can be slow, it can be all sort, it can be authoritative, it can be intimate, it can be exciting, it can be sad. There's so many different ways we have a conversation with someone. All right. But in the idea of conversational voice acting, this is about us being more comfortable in our speech, understanding that people are listening for you to speak as if you were completely 100% confident in what you're talking about. So a lot of times when I coach voice actors, especially when they're just starting out, all the words that we say are given the same importance. And the reason for that is because we think we need to make sure that everyone understands every single word we say, even conjunctions, all right? Everything has to be spoken very clearly, and it becomes almost staccato, right? Like it becomes over the top. But we don't think we're being over the top because we're just thinking we're supposed to say every word clearly. But in the idea of conversational voice acting, okay, that's incorrect. In the way we normally speak in general, just in general, okay, we do not speak perfectly. Our speech is flawed, if you will, right? We shorten words. I always use the example, and can become an, right? Like A-N-D can become A-N, right? If we're going, I just did it. I said, all right. So all right. So if I said that all right, okay, that's one way to say it. But I said, all right, like, all right. So it's almost all right. The idea of conversational voice acting is taking the speech that, we think we're supposed to do when we act like being very clear so that everybody can understand every single word that we're saying by finishing the sentences, by finishing the words with consonants, hard consonants, and changing that to how we normally speak. Here's the kicker. Normally speak, but still present a message. So this is where there's two parts here. How we normally speak is like I'm doing right now with you. I'm just talking to you. I'm speaking. I'm not focusing on how the words sound. If you understand every single word, I'm letting it come out the way I would normally talk. Okay. However, I am teaching. I'm using an authoritative tone. So this is not something that I go around having conversations with people like. Okay, in this particular setting and what I'm doing right now, this tone works, this presentation style works for this video. However, in the conversational realm, I'm being conversational in the fact that I'm speaking as if I'm not trying to be over the top with how my words sound. I'm letting them come out as if I was just talking to someone. But the way I'm presenting it to you is a specific way, an authoritative tone. So I think the idea of conversational has become muddied in some ways. So as you as a voice actor and you're trying to get this, how do I, especially if you're just starting, you're trying to really find your voice. I remember when I was first starting, I literally, every time I would do an audiobook, I would be like super excited and then super worried because I was like, crap, now I got to listen to myself talk and say, God, this just doesn't sound right. Okay. And the whole book, I would just consistently work on trying to make it sound normal or good to myself. Right. Not realizing that entire approach is backwards, right? You should be focusing on the story you're telling, not how it sounds to yourself. But I didn't know that. So there was always this issue I was having with speaking. And what I've learned over time, and to be honest with you, by doing these videos, by doing my podcast, by constantly and coaching people and talking in front of a microphone, I've become a lot more comfortable by just talking and understanding that, speech is not perfect. We're not going to say things excellent all the time, all right? And there are certain scenarios where we need to say things a certain way in different tones. But conversational has become this idea that I want to give you a feeling and emotion, but I want you to say it to me as if you're feeling that. Does that make sense? So when I say to you, I want you to be conversational, all right, in your delivery, but I want it to be inspiring, all right? I'm talking about I want you to speak to me as if you're speaking, like you're speaking, okay? A normal speech that you give, but at the same time, now I want you to make me feel inspired. So I want you to be you, but I want you to be inspiring. That's the rub, especially as voice actors, if we are not trained or we haven't practiced with those specific areas, right? Like, how do I show inspiration with a voiceover? How do I be more intimate? How do I show mystery or intrigue? How do I, refrain and show more of a psychological energy as opposed to a kinetic energy, all right, which we talked about in audiobooks, right? All of these different things can be accomplished using the conversational idea, but you then showing the emotion that's being asked for. That's the challenge. And I think that's where the conversational voice acting has really come to the forefront and also been confusing. I hope this has helped. I hope it hasn't raised more questions. The course below you'll find is actually a fantastic course, and it of course gives you exercises and runs you through everything that you need to know on how to utilize that style. But just know that, someone says, I want you to be conversational. Conversational is just a way of speaking. It's not the emotion they're asking you to portray. Okay, remember that. Conversational is a way of speaking. It's not an emotion. All right. The emotion then is attached to that style of speech. Okay. And hopefully that helps you put conversational acting into a different box. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Again, check out Conversational Voice Acting, the course, as we're highlighting it this week. You'll love it. Thank you guys so much. You have a wonderful Tuesday. I will talk to you soon. Goodbye. Goodbye.